All right, guys. So welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're going to talk about the 5 steps to boost sales as a creator. Now, this video is going to be a lot more generic, overarching in nature, teaching you guys the fundamentals of boosting sales as a creator. And a lot of these things may seem obvious. They probably are obvious. They actually may indeed be obvious. But we have a tendency to forget about a lot of these things, especially when we launch a product, right? Or even when we're thinking about launching a product. Oftentimes we'll launch that product and we will just push, continuously talk about the product, right? And forget about some of the other things, some of the more important things even, like adding value and building a relationship with our audience and listening to our audience, right? So if we do these 5 things in concert, not even necessarily linearly, right? Like this is gonna be a linear relationship. We're gonna start by adding value, then build a relationship, then listen, find out what our audience wants to pay for and use social proof. But once we've figured out what our audience wants to pay for, once we've launched something, we want to consistently be continuing to add value, continuing to build that relationship, continuing to listen and iterate, right? So this is an ongoing process. We're always doing kind of all 5 of these things once we've launched a product. And ultimately, this is going to be a little bit less tactical in nature than a lot of our other content, right? So for those of you that are solo creators, a lot of you guys have probably seen our promotion guides. Those are very tactical in nature, specific things that you can do to boost sales, right? These 5 things are much deeper than that, right? In my opinion, much more important. If you understand these 5 things, you can create your own sales strategy, and a strategy that doesn't seem like you're selling, right? It's a strategy that gets your fans and your audience buying from you and excited to buy from you, right? So I think understanding these 5 things is ultimately the most important thing you can do as a creator, whether you're a fitness, nutrition, wellness creator, or whether you're a broader content creator, right? This applies to broader content creators, or whether you're just a general business person, businessman, businesswoman, right? I think that these 5 things apply everywhere, right? Building a relationship with your audience, your customer, listening, figuring out what they want to pay for, and using social proof to ultimately generate more sales over time. So without further ado, let's dive in, and we'll go first to adding value, right? So as you're adding value on social media, right, generally you're going to be adding value, at least we bucket it in 4 different ways. And there may be more ways in this, but the 4 main ways you're going to be adding value is through education, entertainment, motivation, or inspiration, right? And most of you are probably doing a combination of these things, right? It's probably not just one of these things. But let's take some examples, right? So Jeff Nippard on YouTube, rather, Nippard, right, has a very, very large following. He's all about education, right? He brings science-based literature into play in every single video. He goes very, very deep into the science behind certain things fitness-related, whether that's fitness, nutrition, whether it's about the amount of protein you should be eating every day, whether it's about form tips on a deadlift or bench press, whether it's about training volume, frequency, all about education, right? There's not much entertainment there. Maybe it's a little bit motivational or inspirational, but it's really education, right? Let's take Jesse James West, for example, another YouTube creator. He's all about entertainment, right? People are not commenting on his videos saying, hey, wow, I really learned how to bench press in this video. No, they're saying, hey, I laughed a ton in that video. That was hilarious. I can't wait for your next video because, these things, it's like a movie, right? So he's an entertainer, right? There's plenty of other folks, especially a lot of the younger YouTubers and Instagrammers and fitness creators that are all about motivation, inspiration, right? Maybe they have great physiques, or they put out content that gets you out of bed, gets you fired up to go to the gym every single day. Or you're in a funk and you watch this content and you're like, wow, that is sick. I got to get to the gym, or I got to change my life, right? So, and a lot of this content is, like I said, it's multiple things, right? So ETK Fit, let's take one more example. ETK Fit on Instagram. She has a lot of educational content, right? So she explains how to do certain lifts, especially when she's promoting a program, right? She'll have a program and she'll take a specific day out of that program, do an entire post on that day, and talk through the specific movements and why those movements are programmed and how to do them and how they can change your physique. But then she's also very motivational and inspirational, and she puts out a lot of great content like reels of her weight loss transformation, her story. So it relates to the people that maybe are overweight and motivates them to get on their fitness journey. So always remember, add value. In everything you're doing, add value and find your niche, right? Maybe it's educating, maybe it's motivating, maybe it's entertaining, maybe it's a combination of these things, but consistently think about how you can add value to your content. Now, once you've added value, right, if you're adding value to your followers, to your subscribers, you are probably now at the point where you can start building a relationship with your audience, right? You probably built up a following, and it's time to build that relationship. And I think about a relationship with your audience in different ways depending upon the social media platform you're using, right? So in TikTok, right? TikTok is generally a lot shorter form content, generally more entertainment based in nature. And you can grow a following much more quickly. Historically, you can grow your following the quickest on TikTok. And so TikTok, you're probably not building that deep a relationship with your audience, but maybe you're getting a lot of eyeballs and you're starting to build trust, right? And you can transition those TikTok followers over to Instagram, and Instagram is a place you can start building a bit of a deeper relationship with your audience through things like Instagram stories and, the comments. There's comments on TikTok, right? But on Instagram, there's a lot more generally commenting on in-feed posts and on reels that you can ultimately engage with your audience, right? And doing things like Instagram lives. Again, you can go live on TikTok as well. But both these things, right? Going live to build a relationship with your audience, and asking questions in your stories, right? Doing Q&As, responding to DMs. So all those different types of things, a place you can build a relationship with your audience deeper on Instagram, oftentimes, than on TikTok. YouTube takes it a step further, right? Instagram and TikTok, you can build a relationship with your audience 1 minute at a time, generally speaking, right? If you're going live, that's an exception, but most of the content is a minute or less in nature, most of the video content, right? And so on YouTube, if you can keep somebody for 20 minutes and take them through your life, take them through your journey, vlog, take them through an entire workout, take them through an entire cooking, like cooking a recipe, right? Or just motivate them, right? A lot of this stuff is motivational, inspirational. You're kind of talking to the camera. You can build a much deeper relationship with your audience on YouTube, right? So utilize these 3 platforms to your advantage and do what you're best at, right? Some of you are going to be better at the long form content, and you're gonna enjoy it more, right? And so if you can build a really, really, really big, or not even big, right, but just loyal, engaged audience on YouTube, that's oftentimes the place you can build the deepest relationship. And then working your way back, Instagram and TikTok, you can still build great relationships there. Utilize the platforms to the best of your capability to build a relationship. Facebook, Snapchat, a little bit less used in today's day and age, but Facebook, a lot of you guys have big Facebook audiences. You can definitely build a relationship there. You can reach your audience there. Snapchat is very underrated, especially for a younger demographic. A couple anecdotes. We had one creator sell out an entire merch drop exclusively on Snapchat, pretty much didn't even post about it on any other social platforms. And we had another creator launch a program on Solon, get about 1,000 DMs on Snapchat in the first 3 hours. So Snapchat can be an incredibly powerful channel. It's not as it's not as utilized, right, or as saturated as Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. So especially if you're a younger creator, consider getting on Snapchat if you're interested in that. It could be a very underutilized, interesting way to build a deeper relationship with your audience and, frankly, generate more eyeballs, ultimately more sales in the long run. Now, once you've added value and built a relationship with your audience, again, you want to remember, you want to continue doing these things over time. But now it's time, in kind of this more linear progression, to listen to your audience, right? Read DMs, read comments, pull your audience, figure out how you're adding value. So let's take an example here. Let's read some comments from a YouTuber here. So this is Lex Little. I'm going to make myself a bit smaller here. Lex Little, IFBB Pro chest workout. Let's just read some of the comments on this video. So Lex, I just want to say you are my biggest inspiration for real. You're literally my favorite influencer. Love you, bro. Lex and Steph just make me so happy literally every time every one of you post. Makes the rest of my day good. You're one funny guy. Crazy realizing we actually grew up really close. The way these videos help me keep going through my life. Lots of heart emojis. Love the energy in this video. Love watching your vids before going to bed. They really help me relax, bro. I love Lex. Your vids are always hella fun to watch. Perfect timing. Just got back from the gym. Love your videos. Keep posting, bro. It's crazy to see. They're just getting better and better. You're my biggest inspiration. This is so cool. All this stuff, right? And if you look at these comments, you can quickly understand, right? Why are people following Lex? Why are they watching his videos, right? They're not. These comments are not, hey, wow, I really learned how to bench press in that video. No, these are, wow, you're inspiring me. You're motivating me. Maybe there's some entertainment in there, but it's much less educational, much more motivational, inspirational, and or entertaining, right? So that's one way you can look at your audience, listen to them, and say, okay, this is what my audience is getting out of this. And that may lead you to launch a different product ultimately, or to message to your audience a different way, or even just to create better content for them, understanding, hey, this is why my audience follows me. This is the type of content I can create and I should be creating, rather than, and find your niche, right? So find your niche and double down on it, right? Same with your DMs, right? Read your DMs, figure out what people are asking you for, what questions they're asking you, where you're adding value in their lives, what they're telling you, the stories they're telling you about how you changed their life, right? These are things you can be doing on a daily basis to create better content, and ultimately leading into step 4 in a second, determine what your audience will be willing to pay for. And lastly, pull your audience, right? I always recommend pulling your audience. Use things like Instagram surveys, right? And like, let's say you don't know what you want to launch. Let's say you've added value, you've built a relationship with your audience, you're listening to your audience, but you're not exactly sure what they might pay for. Ask them, right? Would you guys prefer I release a program? Would you guys prefer I release a challenge? Should I release a members-only community? Should I release access to exclusive behind the scenes videos of me, like fitness videos, or workouts or entertaining stuff? Should I release a cookbook? Should I release a nutrition guide, a recipe guide? All these things, right? You can ask your audience and they'll tell you. That's the value of your following and the value of Instagram and the tools they've given you. So even if you already know what you're going to launch, it may even behoove you to put a story out there and ask a question. Do you guys want to see, what kind of program do you guys want to see from me, X, Y, or Z? And maybe you already know they're going to say booty program, right? But even just asking that question and then saying, hey guys, I'm listening to you. You guys have spoken, like we're going to release a booty program. It takes them on a different journey with you, right? And so going on that journey with you is ultimately that's where you're building a deeper relationship. Even if you already know what you're going to sell, it makes them feel involved, right? So pull your audience, listen to read your DMs, read your comments, all that good stuff. Listen to your audience, and then that will help you determine what your audience will pay for, right? So we've now added value. We've built a relationship with our audience. We've listened to them. What will your audience pay for? Ultimately, you gotta make money, right? You gotta make a living. You gotta maybe even just fund your work, fund better content, right? Whatever your goal is, you gotta make money at the end of the day. And so what's your audience gonna pay for? Where do you add enough value that they wanna buy something from you? Is it through access to you and community, right? I think Lex, right, could offer a community, right, with deeper level of access to him. Maybe for him, people aren't going to buy a training program, or not as many people are going to buy a training program as would join a private community where they can have a deeper level of access to him. He can't respond to all the YouTube comments. He can't respond to all the Instagram DMs. He gets thousands of them, right? But in my community, if you pay me $15 a month, I will come into the community and respond once a week to everybody who's posting, or I will give you guys a deeper level of access to me. Maybe I'll release a behind the scenes exclusive video once a month for you guys that nobody on my YouTube can see, or maybe I'll release my YouTube videos a day early to my private members here, and you guys can all comment on them and share posts and stories and build a community there, right? So that's one thing. Figure out what your audience will pay for and listen to your audience to determine what they'll pay for. Ask them. Maybe it's a training program, right? Maybe it's a training challenge. Maybe it's a cookbook. Maybe 10 out of every 10 posts on Instagram, maybe 9 of them are fitness related and 1 is a recipe, or this is what I eat in a day. And maybe those are the ones that get the most engagement, or those are the ones that are driving the most value for your followers. You can ask the question to them and you can say, hey, what type of content would you guys, prefer to see more of? What would you guys want to pay for? And maybe if you put cookbook and fitness program in there, they say, hey, there's so many fitness programs out there. I'm much more likely to buy a cookbook from you, or I would love to get your 25 most healthy recipes in a cookbook. I'd be happy to support you and pay for you there, right? Buy that from you. So figure out what your audience will pay for. Maybe it's live sessions, right? Maybe people just generally will support you. You've added so much value to them. You've never asked them for a dime. You're saying, hey, I would, if you guys could support me with $15 a month, I'll give you guys access to a private community, and we can all hang out in there and build deeper relationships. And maybe they'll be willing to support you to fund your content, right? Because you've added so much value for free over time. So all these different things your audience might pay for, but it's about listening to them, figuring out what they'll pay for, and then launching it. And by the way, you can do all these things on Solon. If you don't know how to do any of these things on Solon, reach out to your Solon representative. They'll be happy to help you. I'm going to probably try to do more of these videos, especially one particularly going through how to do all these things on the platform. So when I do that, I will link below in the description and or just drop it right into the video here so you can click on it. And I will keep you guys posted on that as soon as we're able to get that out there. But in the meantime, again, feel free to reach out to your representative or creators at solonfitness.com. We can help you guys out if you want to do any of these things. Now, jumping down to number 5, social proof, right? So remember, we have, coming back to the top, added value. We've built a relationship. We've now listened. We've determined what our audience will pay for. We've probably launched that thing. And now we need to use social proof to ultimately boost our sales. And again, we have a lot more tactical guides on how to do this, but we're just going to go over some really high-level stuff right now, right? So the best ways to utilize social proof that we found are transformations of yourself and others and testimonials. Those are 2 of the best ways. And let's look at Greg O'Gallagher from Kinobody. He does a phenomenal job of this. He's added a ton of value over the years to his audience. And by the way, I listened to a podcast with him a couple years ago, and I think he said he's doing roughly $12 million a year in sales as of a couple years ago. So he's clearly been very successful. And you'll see, here's a testimonial transformation from one of his clients. Here's another one. Let's go down to the transformation of himself. Oftentimes that will do best. And again, he says, just in case you thought I've always stayed ripped easily, here's my before and after. On the left, I was 19 years old, following mainstream fitness advice. He's taking his audience through a journey here, right? He's being authentic. He's showing his audience is probably seeing themselves in him on the left, and now saying, I could transition and transform to be this, right? And so this personal transformation is incredible, right? And I'm sure this generated a ton of sales for him, a ton of engagement. Go and now look at a client testimonial, right? He's literally showing, again, the same transformation of a client, and now talking specifically about that client, highlighting that client, and saying, here's what that client said, right? So going very deep, detailed. This is very, very detailed stuff. Particularly, it's not just some, hey, here's a quick picture, but he is taking his audience on a journey and showing them a much deeper level of stuff here, which is great. So he does a phenomenal job of that. Story highlights. So story highlights is another great way to showcase social proof, right? Nona Bayat does a great job of this. Fitness app reviews in her story highlights on Instagram, specifically just talking about the reviews. You could do the same thing utilizing the community area in Solon. A lot of times the community area in Solon, people will post, hey, I'm loving this program, or hey, this program changed my life. Screenshot that, post it on Instagram, add it to a story highlight, even just post as a regular story. You can do any of those things, and you're using social proof very naturally, authentically. You're not being pushy. You're letting other people tell your story for you rather than you telling it yourself. You can also utilize in-feed posts and YouTube videos by, again, Greg did a great job of that using his in-feed posts here. YouTube videos, you could highlight transformation testimonials in a YouTube video, maybe interview somebody who did the program and highlight them on your YouTube. You could also do other things, not quite so much social proof, but more just like proof that, hey, this program works, or I'm talking about it a lot. And you could do that by doing like a YouTube video or an in-feed post like ETK Fit will do, taking a day out of your program and posting about it on Instagram. Hey, here's a specific day, a free day for you from my program, or a free recipe from my cookbook. Here's a feed post about that recipe. Some free value. If you enjoy this, go ahead and get the book. You could do the same with YouTube video, longer form, taking somebody through an entire days of workout, talking specifically through each of the movements, or making that recipe, doing like a cook-along of a recipe from your cookbook. Again, just adding free value, using proof that, hey, I invested in this. I put a lot of time and energy into this. This is some behind the scenes stuff for you to take a look at. This is some more value for you. If you like this, go ahead and buy it. That way you're not just asking, hey, will you buy this? Will you buy this? Will you buy this? You're giving something, and if people like it, then they can ultimately purchase from you rather than you having to go out there and sell them. Same goes with these transformations, the testimonials, the story highlights. You're showing what this has done for other people. You're showing the value. You're allowing those other people to do the talking for you and enabling people to see the value without you having to kind of like push it down their throats, right? So this was a much higher level, more generic video. Wanted to give you guys, I'm going to try to do as much of this content as I possibly can. So please let me know what you guys want to see. We're super busy over here, but we're always trying to help you guys reach more people and grow your businesses. Like, that is our goal. You guys provide so much value to the ultimate end consumer, to your fans, to helping them get healthy. And it's our job to give you the tools, the advice, the resources, the knowledge, the data, the strategy, the platform to reach as many people as possible and build your businesses. So you let me know in the comments below, or reach out to your Solon representative, or email us at creators@solonfitness.com. Any of the above works, and let us know what you want to see more of, what would be most helpful for you, and we'll try to get around to those as soon as possible. We have kept this video fully public for anybody, whether you're on the Solon platform or not. We just want to help as many creators as we can and, reach as many people as we can, whether you're utilizing the software or not. So feel free to share this with anybody. If you saw value in it, comment below what else you guys want to see more of. And I hope to be doing as many of these as possible. So until next time, we'll catch you guys later, and hope this one was helpful.